In our emotional intelligence workshops at Temple University, we start each session off with this quotation from Daniel Goleman. If you have humans in the workplace, you're going to have emotions too. Our emotions affect every part of our day, whether we want them to or not. Particularly in this moment of social distancing and worldwide concern, emotions are running higher than ever. So how can we continue to work and socialize at a distance in an emotionally intelligent way? Let's start by defining emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman defined it in his 1998 book as the capacity for recognizing our own feelings and those of others, and for managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationships. Recognizing and managing our own feelings is crucial to emotionally intelligent communication. If I asked you at this exact moment how you're feeling, how would you answer? When we ask this question in our workshops, often participants respond with a single word: stressed. But stress is a result of emotions, not an emotion itself. Sometimes it can be really hard to separate out all the emotions we're feeling and why we're feeling them. This emotion wheel, created by Robert Plutchik in 1980, can be really helpful. As you move nearer to the center of the circle, the emotions are stronger, and as you move towards the outer edge, the emotions are less intense. The words around the edge of the wheel show what emotions can result as a combination of others. Pause this video and take a closer look. Using this emotion wheel as a starting point, what emotions would you say you're feeling right now? And what effects are they having on your physical state, your mental capacity, and your interpersonal interactions? When we experience strong emotions, we might experience what's known as a cognitive hijack. This means that our brain takes shortcuts and generates physical responses before we're even aware that they're happening. Sometimes these can manifest in arguments, or tears, or feelings of panic. Without self-awareness and self-management, we might have trouble slowing down or avoiding these cognitive hijacks. Taking a moment to thoughtfully sit with our emotions and name them is the first step to emotional intelligence. Where in your day can you find time to do this? Some people like to talk through their emotions out loud in their car on their way to work. Other people like to sit down at their desk, take a sticky note, and write 1 or 2 words on it that reflect how they're feeling. You can do it however you want. The crucial thing is saying your emotions out loud or writing them down so that you're forced to be as specific as possible. We then have to think about how we're managing our emotions and our responses to cognitive hijacks. In the moment, this might look like slowing down our reaction times by taking some deep breaths or stepping away from the situation that's causing us to react. It might also look like challenging your beliefs about a situation by trying to think about it from a different viewpoint. It's about being aware of how your underlying emotional state might be affecting a conversation or a situation in ways you're not even aware of. But beyond our self-management and self-awareness, emotionally intelligent communication comes down to empathy. Empathy is a cognitive process, not an emotional one. It's about reading and responding to other people's emotions and understanding why they're having them. Active listening is fundamental to communicating with empathy. Active listening is an active, not a passive process that requires work on the part of the listener. Picking up on non-verbal cues is important, and so are our own verbal cues, finding ways to dig deeper, to show that you're listening in order to understand, and affirming or paraphrasing what the other person is saying. It's also about waiting to share your experience or response. All too often, we stop listening to someone because we're too busy preparing our reply. Active listening requires that we slow down and keep our focus entirely on the other person. How can you communicate with emotional intelligence at a distance or when you're working from home? Wherever possible, use video chat to communicate with your colleagues. It gives you the ability to pick up on those important non-verbal cues, as well as providing a closer sense of connection. Secondly, set aside time for unhurried conversations. Take time to really talk, engage, and actively listen. If possible, make sure that your conversations aren't entirely focused on work. Do you have time to check in and see how your colleagues are feeling more generally? Finally, be aware of how your own emotions might be affecting the conversation. It's okay to admit that your responses and behaviors might be different to normal. Finally, empathy burnout or compassion fatigue can be real. If you spend all day being the emotional support for other people, you're going to have fewer reserves to assess and manage your own emotions. Make sure you're finding time in your day to take a moment for yourself to reset, reassess, and work out what you need to continue to function at your best. It's important that we don't let distance stop us communicating with emotional intelligence. Take some time, check in with yourself, and remember that emotions are an inevitable part of the workplace, but we can choose how to manage them and communicate intentionally with others. Thank you for listening. From all of us at Temple University's University College, take care, and we'll see you soon.